Hi, I'm Darren Machin. I'm the product manager at SciMed.
And I'm Ian Williams. I'm the research and development manager at Matcon.
So Ian, obviously we go back quite a while now. I think first time I was in here was about 6 years ago. Obviously I know at that time you were evaluating quite a few potential different NIR systems.
Yep.
What, in your opinion, was the reason you went for the PATW from Viavi?
It was just a complete and utter easy decision based around the size, to be honest. I mean, we evaluated probably 3 different units, but to be able to just pick this up and just clamp it straight onto a container, that made life so simple for us. Obviously we use containers in the blender, so it's batch based. We didn't want something that was complicated with lots of wires or separate boxes. Single tri-clamp connection, and it's straight in.
Have you found it quite easy to kind of move that round from a smaller blender to a larger blender because of the form factor?
Yep, we've now got the new pilot blender, so we can put it onto a standard lid, and then that same standard lid can go up to the large size blender as well. Customers can experience the same on site and even use it elsewhere, buffer hoppers, packing machines, anywhere you can fit that tri-clamp really.
Yeah, so that does make sense. So obviously we're sat in front of the new pilot blender. How does the new pilot blender fit into the whole Matcon range?
There's been a gap for quite a long time. We've always had our lab system, sort of less than 50 litres, and then we've had our much larger systems up to sort of 3,500 litres. It fills the gap in between where customers either have sort of high value, low volume products, or they're looking at doing sort of bespoke manufacturing of smaller batches, 100 litres or 200 litres. It also gives them an opportunity to develop and test recipes. You know, they're spending a lot of money on new recipes and development costs, so it's an opportunity to produce small batches, see how it works, combine it with the NIR, get that proof, and then scale it up to the full Matcon system.
So I suppose those that could be like most excited about this, quite a few different people are going to be like really excited. The fact that you can go to a smaller batch size, but also put it on somebody's pilot scale to show scale up as well. So
yeah, it'll be for existing Matcon customers. They get all the functionality of our larger systems. They still get the cone valve with the new pilot IBC. So they get all those benefits to transfer across. And then for completely new customers, new to Matcon, they get a really capable piece of equipment that has all the mixing advantages, tumble blending, high shear, combine that with the NIR.
How have you found the NIRs kind of help Matcon's business? What's been the benefits of having the NIR?
Absolute game changer. I mean, I've been with Matcon now for 15 years, been in the test plant, hundreds of trials. We used to do things like physical sampling, digging into the container. Samples would disappear off. Sometimes you'd never hear back. You can't always trust a physical sample that's being then shipped around the world. With the NIR, it's just there right in front of you. It's literally a window into the container to see what's going on. You get that instant feedback. That's good for the customer. They have confidence in the machinery and equipment. It's good for the business because then we know how well the trials are going. So you get, again, instant feedback.
Getting the real-time, the real-time results.
All about the live real-time. So.
And what would you say to somebody who's kind of considering putting NIR in their business? Because I do understand it can be quite daunting, especially if it's something quite different to what they're used to.
Yep. Well, I mean, chemometrics, and it's not really our background, but it was so easy to just learn. The software is intuitive. It's really not as complicated as it might look. Just collect the data, treat it like a sensor basically. Put it on, collect the data, keep it simple. And it really is just a learning process. You get results very quickly, basically.
Oh, that's good to hear.
So, obviously we're in our Matcon test plant.
Looking rather nice, looking spick and span.
It's pretty different from a production environment. I mean, what would be a typical day-to-day that you've seen of someone using this in a production facility?
It can vary. I mean, I always discuss with customers at the start, do you see this project being a production-driven project? As in, do you want to use it on every single batch to understand batch-to-batch variance? Or do you see it as a QA or QC tool where you want to try and understand at pilot scale how your blend is working, and looking at your blend times and your fill levels and your filling regimes, and then you can then translate that through to scale up, and then hopefully it becomes entrenched in the company's ethos in use the data, understand, and ultimately to help cut down on non-conformances, which I think is the ultimate goal. Is people's brands are very important to them, and it's ensuring that you're putting everything in place to kind of protect that reputation.
Contracts are not easy to win, so they're adding that extra layer of proof and protection.
And they can often be quite easy to lose.
So that's true as well.
Yeah.
Yep. That's good. Obviously, I mean, you mentioned recipe development, but this device is pretty robust. Some people may think it's just only for R&D use. So I'm an R&D manager in engineering, but day to day, would you see it actually being used by operators on the shop floor?
Yeah, because you want to see how your product, especially if it's a natural product, if it's got a milk protein in there that could be affected by seasonal variation. Just doing one trial in the winter and expecting your blends to perform the same in different times of the year, different suppliers, different batch numbers. So actually using it daily, I probably see more benefit than just doing a snapshot, because you get to understand how your supply chain is working, and then you can use the NIR to make decisions on changing the blend times if the seasonal variation is starting to affect that. So yeah, I would often use it as a QA/QC to understand how things work, but going forward, it naturally then feeds into a production environment, and it's non-intrusive, it's easy to set up, it's not going to impede any productivity levels. So actually being able to put the NIR on quickly, which, as we know, it is very, very quick.
Very quick.
Means it doesn't impede on a production time scale.
And I guess that can come right from the beginning of the process. You've got the on-site there as well for ingredients.
Yeah, so you can follow the product right from the beginning, from goods inwards to on your process, not just blending, but if you have another process that you want to look at, a drying process, through to batch release as well. You could use a handheld or the online system to approve batch release as well.
I quite often get called into meetings to help customers with conversations around scale up.
Yeah.
And there's so many unwritten rules about scaling up. Have you see it in action?
Yeah, if you understand, if you have a particular batch size that you're currently working with and you want to scale up, whether it be from a smaller blender or looking at filling the bins more to increase the productivity, by actually understanding where the endpoint is, you can see if that endpoint is translated through to scale up. It might not be filling twice as much, it takes twice as long. It could actually blend quicker. So there's only one way there's two ways to do that. Take thief samples. As we know, you take a thief sample and you have disrupted the blend, so you're never going to get back to the same point again. But actually being able to kind of follow the movie by analysing each rotation, you've really got to, you've understood the movie from the beginning to the end, so you can really follow how that process is translating for scale up.
And you're setting a good quality benchmark.
Yeah.
You know, taking the guesswork out of that.
Taking the subjectiveness out of the of any sampling that you may do as well, because you'll always be in doubt that you might have disrupted that blend and ultimately never get to that same endpoint again.
No, so you can go purely qualitative with the analysis, just looking at just the results pretty much that are coming back, or you can go more complicated and go quantitative. Mm-hmm. But do you find customers just keep it simple to start with? Do they become self-sufficient, or are they quite often needing a lot of support?
Both. Some clients are NIR is very well entrenched, so naturally they've taken it to the next level. But ultimately, we start very, very simple. You collect the data. We don't need to run any fancy calibrations. We are just seeing how one blend compares to another, seeing if the fingerprint between one recipe and the other is the same. And then ultimately we can make some decisions. Yes, we can help customers take that much further if they want to put some quantitative measurements in there. But yeah, start simple, understand what you are seeing first and how the NIR correlates to any changes that you may be putting into your process.
I always keep it qualitative because, you know, new customers on a regular basis, you only get one opportunity to show them that data. So we usually just run one slightly longer blend than needed, quick qualitative analysis.
That's often the right way because you are often trying to get the point across to people that aren't chemometricians.
Yep.
They say, look, this profile matches this profile, so they must be the same.
Yep. just as simple as matching the two,
Yeah.
the two profiles. Yeah. What would be your 3 top tips?
3 top tips. We've already mentioned it. Just keep it simple. If you're doing repeat blends and you want to see how blend A compares to blend B, keep it simple. Don't put any fancy chemometrics in there that kind of cloud your judgment. I would always say on site, have a project owner, have a SME. In other words, whoever I want to work with, we have good correspondence on a regular basis, and they become the subject matter experts. So I always like to have one dedicated person, point of contact. It means that they get to understand as much as possible, and we got that continuity, one less variable if we're swapping. Obviously, don't get me wrong, we train other people up, but to have the one point of contact who becomes an SME is important.
That's worked well for us.
It has worked, yeah, it works really well. And I suppose the last thing is just to ask if you've got any questions. It's so easy just to pick up the phone. Teams has made life a lot easier.
Yes, Jora's there.
Half an hour Teams call often is saving 100 emails.
Perfect.
Thank you, Ian.
Good to talk to you.
Take care.
For more information about our products and services, please visit us at scimed.co.uk.